Was the original beings on this planet civilized or uncivilized? How can we ever stop racism when every race has got its own superiority complex?
Until this day, everyone's telling you the Egyptians were so smart, so, they built the pyramids. They can't understand or work out how they did it.
Well, I can. I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
We use cement.
Because you say you're a savior, but anybody can be a savior. If I was stranded or I needed some help and you saved me, I can say you're my savior. It doesn't matter who you are, what skin suit you're in. That's why Wu-Sabat will win every time, because
100%.
it doesn't deal with religion, it deals with the facts. And if you can handle the facts, which is synonymous with the truth, truth is truth. It's not because I say it is, it's because nature says it is. It is what it is, So you either accept it or you don't. But they all teach you in religion that when the truth comes, all false things will perish. But they just didn't expect it to be their thing, because once you're now being put on the spotlight, let's examine what you're saying, pick it apart. When did it come about? Who wrote the books? What language was it in? Is it doing good in the world today, or is it doing damage? Who are you waiting for? Where they're coming from? Where they're gonna arrive? Like we were saying before, like if you're in one side of the world, and let's say Jesus is arriving on the other side of the world, how are you gonna know? How are you gonna get there? Where is he, first of all? Where is he coming from? How is he traveling? How is he gonna arrive? Is it in a craft? Because if he's in heaven, Rahubat.
I just want to say, I love you. I love all the brothers and what they're doing.
Thank you
From the heart,
so much.
seriously.
Yeah,
Because it's
that's
like
sure.
you guys are saving the world.
Wow.
Seriously.
It's a big responsibility. We need everyone to get involved and help,
Yeah.
But yeah, let me let you introduce yourself and then
Yeah, so my name's Curtis. I'm from Birmingham. I've been in and out of different learning schools, and I haven't seen any learning school that can basically go against Wu-Sabat, the Wu-Sabat teachings and the master teacher. It all started when I was about 7 years old. I remember watching something on the TV about predictions for the next 65 years. And I seen a sketch of myself, and I kind of knew it was me because I recognized my smile. So in this prediction, it was basically the countdown to Judgment Day and the end of all religions into the new world. And it had me on there as a sketch with my arm missing, replaced with a golden sword. Later on in life, I remember working doing security, and there was a guy there, Bashir, and he was trying his hardest to convert me to Islam. These times I'm listening to Wu-Tang, watching movies like Malcolm X, Gravediggers album. And basically he showed me a book with the same sketch of me in there again. Also within this book was the master teacher. The reason why I knew it was a master teacher because the other guy who was working with, David Jackson, told me he used to watch Malachi Zedjor VHSs. So I would like to know, did Malachi Zedjor write that book, or did someone else prophesize it with the sketches?
Do you know the name of the book or the title of the book or the author?
I haven't got a clue.
Right. See, that's the thing with us. We like to get the actual facts, so I will only be speculating without knowing the name of the book. Because he's written a lot of books, as you know. So, what do you remember the cover or anything like?
Basically it was all Arabic cover.
Okay.
Like it had like a flower.
Right.
And loads of Arabic writing. But the reason why that book...
It does sound like something the masters put out in terms of like the lotus flower with the Arabic back in the old schools that we were going to.
This would have been early 2000s.
Okay.
So about 2001, 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, without knowing the title or the author, I can't really tell you.
You'd probably be able to help me out with the other book that I'm looking for.
Okay.
Basically, when I was about 13 years old, I was in my school library. There was this big, dirty brown book. I was like, what the hell is this? It looked like some Evil Dead kind of book. So I picked it up. A massive pentagram. Every single religious symbol around it. I was like, curiosity, let me pick it up. first page, there is no God, there is no devil. It's all in you.
Mm.
If you leave blood in this book, we will make you become whatever you want to be. Actor, basically celebrity, politician, world leader.
Mm.
I was interested. I was, intrigued.
Yeah.
Turn the page. Seen loads of like, I don't know. The only way I can describe it, witchcraft.
Mm.
Loads of spells. I was like, nah. These times I'm believing in Jesus.
Mm.
So it said if you refuse to sell your soul and become part of an order, turn the page. So the page I turned on, it says basically, because you haven't sold your soul, all of the people that have sold their soul, their names will come back to you,
Mm.
which will make you prophesied to be the horseman of the apocalypse. It says you will be watched. I didn't know anything about who's watching me. I didn't know about Masons, Illuminati at that time. I'm 13 years old.
Mm.
The only thing I knew about was Wu-Tang and Tupac at that time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, anyway, that went out the window. Couple years later, early 2000s again, by chance, I remember waking up in the middle of the night, turned on the TV, there was some like New World Order Awards. I'm like, what the hell is this devil stuff on my TV? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was a guy with a turban on. The only way I can describe it, he had every single like Tamaray symbol on it
Mm.
in red with a black turban. He had a ginger beard.
Right.
I'm sure his name was Lazar or Saad or something like that. And there was loads of celebrities in disguise in the audience. And lo and behold, the same thing that's in that book and the page was on screen. So I'm guessing he would have wrote that book.
Right.
Have you guys ever heard of this guy with a ginger beard and turban with...
Again, this is what I'm saying. Like, is he online? Is he on YouTube?
I've been searching
Because
for years. I've been searching
could
for
be
years.
anyone. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
But I'm sure it was Saad or Lazard. And apparently he was a special guest from another planet. This would have been around 2001, 2002-ish.
The only person, I mean, he didn't wear a turban, but that fits what you're saying a little bit to me. Do you know Rael?
No.
Rael, he's in the Holy Tablets. But again, I don't want to like put it on him if it's not him, because he doesn't wear a turban. But he's claimed. I thought I turned this off. He claimed to be from another planet, and so on. So sorry, let me just turn this off. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, again, we always say in Wu-Sabat, because we don't want to speculate and kind of go down the wrong path and talk about stuff that we don't
Incriminate the
have.
wrong person.
Yeah, so we really need the facts. But yeah, that doesn't ring a bell either. But we have got some books like the Luciferian Conspiracy and the Leviathan and stuff, and even the book called History that goes into, some of these characters with the New World Order.
Yeah.
But again, sorry, I can't give you anything on who
would
that
you be
person.
able to break down the coats of arms, the British coats of arms, the unicorn and the lion? Would that be part of Revelations?
Yes, a little bit, but there's certain information, as you know, that is within the orders.
Okay.
So we have like the Brotherhood, as being the original Egyptian, what people call Masonic order. But so certain information can't be divulged.
How can I join? I'm ready now. I want in.
You want in?
I want in.
That's the first step. If you want in, then you've got to, I guess, we don't solicit. So basically, you have to be around, be known, do the works, and then when the opportunity comes, people who know you, they can then take that opportunity to vouch for you, and then you
So I
get to
don't
learn.
get blackball kind of thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, in terms of what I can tell you with a lot of the coats of arms, if you look at and study them properly, they actually go back to like the Blackamoors, which will relate to the original Moors, because there are different types of Moors, just like with everything. There are different types of Christians, different types of Muslims, different types of Masons, different types of what people call Moors. You have the authentic or the original, and then you'll always have the fake or the fabricated.
yeah,
So when you're looking at like the Moors, if you look at places like England, especially like Yorkshire, because the names give you a clue.
Yorkshire Moors.
Right. So when you see words with York in it or with Mac, as in
Yeah,
MC, like McDonald, that ties into the Moors, the original Moors, because you had like the reason Moors are important is because certain treaties were made with them because they were supposedly recognized as being free.
yeah,
So when you go back to like slavery, you know, you have those who were referred to as Negroes,
yeah,
and then the Moors were supposed to be free men. So there were treaties signed, you know, in Morocco and so forth. So again, Moors, Morocco ties in because you see people look at this and call it the Fez, but it's not a Fez,
Takosh.
it's a Tarbush, right? Because Fez is a city,
Morocco.
Morocco,
Yeah,
and it ties into these Moors. And so you, just like the slavery where you had the house N-word
yeah.
and the field ones.
Ninjas. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's the same with the Moors
yeah,
where you have the Morenos, because when
yeah,
you look at the words that are used for black, like Morenos, Negra, from Negra,
yeah.
or Milan, where, you know, like in Italy today, you have a city
Milano.
called Milan that ties into melanin and
Yeah,
it deals with black. And then you have, as I said, Negra, which is also, you know, like from Latin and Greek into being black. So, yeah, but I'm saying that to say that the original rulers of England were the black and Moors.
yeah,
And they hide, and even like, you know, people in religion that will talk about like King James, for example, and they try to make him black and stuff like that.
yeah,
But it goes back to the original kind of like what you would call the original founders. So wherever you go on the planet, there will be indigenous people,
yeah,
but somehow they've been either whitewashed or like Europeanized, or like other races have come in
yeah.
and have taken over.
100%.
Yeah. So when you start to dig into the history of, and again, the people that are ruling now in England and people that came into England from like German,
Germany. Yeah,
exactly. You seem to be, yeah, you're on the ball. So you know, even now when you're seeing what's going on in the world stage with what's going on with America, and as you were talking about the New World Order, the trick, you know, the what's going on with like Trump and stuff, that's all Germany influenced,
yeah.
which then ties into
Bavarian
Hitler,
Illuminati. Yeah,
the Aryan race,
yeah.
and it goes all the way to the
Palladians. Yeah,
Palladians,
yeah,
exactly. So yeah, so that's where I will touch on in that respect. But we're getting to a stage now where everything's been exposed,
yeah. 100%.
and don't be like you say, don't believe the hype, because whoever's you controlling the media and pushing out
Yeah,
a narrative and giving you a story doesn't mean that it's actually
yeah,
accurate or what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah, you see, so we're at the stage where people are starting to wake up and the truth is coming out in every shape or form, and some are still fighting to keep power,
yeah,
but it's at the time where the people, because that structure, like if you look on the American dollar bill with the pyramid and
yeah.
the eye and all of that,
The
and
owl
you
and
see,
yeah,
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 you got people like
yeah,
Jay-Z and you know, using phrases like YOLO, you only live once, Alistair Crowley. In fact, let me
yeah.
yeah, this book
That
here.
Alistair Crowley would be like Felima and them kind of
Yeah, so this book
accusations.
here called History, you can see, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you can probably name most of them. You mentioned Adam
yeah,
Weishaupt, you got Hitler there,
yeah.
you got Anton
Albert
Levy,
Pike.
Albert Pike,
Yeah,
you know,
Alistair Crowley.
yeah, exactly. So it goes in
That'd
onto,
be the Scientology dude, L. Ron Hubbard.
that's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
So these are the people that, as this is called history. You know, they've rewritten the real stories
Yeah.
with their story or his
Talking
story.
about his story,
Yeah,
can we go into the master teacher's bloodline? Because I'm sick of arguing with Muslims.
yeah.
I'm trying to explain that Imam Isa is already here.
Mm, Yeah.
they're like, well, who is he? I'll
Yeah.
say Dr. Malachi Zedjewalk, say he
Yeah.
had the birth name
Yeah.
Isa, but he doesn't claim to be the Messiah himself.
Right.
But he's here,
Yeah. It's
and
big.
he's humble enough to not call himself the Messiah.
Mm.
And by him being that humble, automatically makes him that.
Well, you see, that's why again with Wu-Sabat, we go into the language and into the word. So when you say Isa, that name is shared by millions of people around the world. You know, like just like how people are called Paul or Daniel or Moses. You know what I mean? Like because you're called Moses today doesn't mean you're the Moses of the Bible. You see, so the word Isa, which is a name that is shared by many Muslims, was given to him at birth, as you said, and it just means savior. Now, religion and the religious mindset has people thinking and believing things in a particular way. So when you say words, it's like trigger words because you say your savior, but anybody can be a savior. Like if I was stranded or I needed some help and you saved me, I can say you're my savior because I didn't have no electricity or I didn't have no money, I didn't have something and you reached out and saved me. So I can say you're my savior. But people make it like there's only one savior, there's only one Messiah, there's only one this and one that, which is not actually true when you look at the scriptures. So, yeah, when you're saying Messiah as well, that's again another term that it's like because religion specifically, you have to actually know how religions come about. But Christianity, especially like the New Testament or the Renewed Testament, it's only 2,000 years old. They're the one that want to push this one person called the Messiah and Jesus.
Neo at the Matrix.
Right. When you go and look at history, many people were called messiahs. And what does the word messiah mean? It just means anointed. So again, anyone who is anointed, and it depends who is anointing you, what's the ceremony, because all the religions of the West today, they find their roots in Egypt. You see, so you have to go to, okay, how did they anoint in Egypt?
Crocodile fat.
Crocodile fat, exactly. So yeah, Imam Isa, Imam, what does Imam mean?
Basically, it come from the word Imani. So you're the spokesperson to bring everybody together.
Right, but it's translated as upfront. So someone who's upfront in the community, you know, like if you're an imam of a mosque, then you're upfront because you lead the prayers, and so you're imam. So it just means somebody that's upfront. So, but because of who he is, you will find that prophecies and everything will tie into that person because the way people look out for prophecy or things that have been predicted is to look at your name, to look at your bloodline, look at your lineage, and look at what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? You can't just get a title and say, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. And then everyone just says, you're the heavyweight champion of the world. Like, have you got track record of boxing and winning fights to become the heavyweight champion of the world? So when you start to look at leaders that have popped up over the years and have titles, like people will say, Haile Selassie is the conquering lion of Judah, and they give him all these titles. But then you go and do the research and you're like, his name, his bloodline, his legacy, like what he did doesn't actually match up to what
Question
people
about
are claiming.
Selassie. Was he actually the Queen's cousin? Same bloodline as the late
I'm not
Queen?
sure about that, to be honest. But there's a whole chapter of him in the Holy Tablets. That I don't know about the Queen's cousin. That's interesting.
Yeah, because
I'll
she
have to
gave him
look into that
refuge
one.
in Bath, and one of my friend's granddads actually was taking care of him when he was in Bath.
Okay.
So I kind of heard it from.
Right. But what I'm saying is people say he's a King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering lion. You're like,
he's never called himself.
He's never called himself that. He's an emperor. Yeah, he was an emperor of Ethiopia, and he had to work his way to become an emperor. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, but I'm just saying that to say titles or like names of people, you have to go into it. So Imam Isa does tie into the bloodline. He ties into the prophecies in terms of what he has done and has approved and achieved. And so people are expecting somebody to look and behave in a particular way. And because he's come and he doesn't match or fit what you want. It's like people today are looking for Jesus and to come back in the skin color of a Caucasian with blonde hair and blue eyes. And it's
Yeah.
like, if anyone else comes along that doesn't fit
Yeah.
that profile, they're going to automatically reject that person.
Talking about Yashua, the
Yeah.
Knights Templar have been saying for the longest they have the bones of Yashua, his
Mm.
4 children, and his cousin John
Yeah.
the Baptist.
Yeah.
They've also saying that him and John the Baptist have conical heads.
Mm.
Would they be mixed with some form of terras, extraterrestrial, or
That's another thing as well, the extraterrestrial subject, which is becoming more and more
yeah,
popular now, right? But again, if you look back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, there was no one that was really talking about
apart
extraterrestrials
from the master
apart
teacher
from the master
and Elijah
teacher
Muhammad?
and Elijah Muhammad,
Yeah,
right? So he came on the scene from the get-go, like from the jump. He came on the scene saying, I'm an extraterrestrial from Planet Risk.
yeah,
And everybody was like, hard, like made a joke of it. But if you listen to even the True Light tapes, when he was explaining that, your whole concept of angels and heaven and religion and what you're talking about is extraterrestrials.
100%.
But back then, people didn't really clock on because of the spell of religion that everybody's been under for so long. But then, even in that, if you were somebody that's using your own mind to question, you'll be like, we're taught about this place called heaven, where angels are and where God is and where Allah is and all these, but no one can say where it is.
Yeah.
The best they would tell you is that it's up there.
Where is up there?
Where is up there? And then if you separate the planet Earth from outside of Earth, anything from outside in is going to be an extraterrestrial. So again, the miseducation and like movies and Hollywood turning the word extraterrestrials into aliens,
Yeah,
because then they gave you movies like E.T., Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, and all of this fiction, but with truth in them,
yeah,
but made as entertainment.
yeah,
Little green men, So yeah, to go back to your question. So when he came on the scene, he was like, "Yeah, I'm an extraterrestrial. Your whole concept of what you're calling angels is extraterrestrials that have been coming here. They're the ones that have written these books and given you these books. Went on to the Anunnaki, explaining who the
yeah.
Anunnaki were. And now today, 2025, everyone is talking about
Yeah, it's the new
extraterrestrials.
trend.
Yeah,
It's the new
you
trend.
see, so he was way, 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 way ahead of everyone. And as an extraterrestrial, they're just far more intelligent,
Yeah.
more
Well,
advanced.
aren't we all extraterrestrials?
I was just gonna.
Yeah,
That's the crux of
yeah,
what I'm saying. So again, people tried to single him out, but he's always said, "You're just like me." Everything he said, and if you go back to the biblical stories of Jesus as well, he always said that, the works that I do, you're going to be able to do far greater works. And
100%.
again, people didn't understand that, because it's like, if I'm a chess player and you're a student and I'm teaching you all my moves, you're going to be better than me because you got your moves
Yeah,
plus all my moves, you see.
yeah,
So that's what the essence of what was being taught. So if you take the essence of what these religious books have been trying to communicate for years, like, it's very basic and very
yeah.
simple. It's like, love everyone the way you would like, treat people the way you want to be treated, love thy neighbor.
But
Do you
so
know?
many people get it wrong.
Yeah, so
Can't
many
take the
people,
simplest message of love. That's the thing.
because as I was
Yeah,
saying, when you go back to that structure of the pyramid, it's always the top people that try to control the masses at the bottom, and it's all led by greed, and they just want to basically control everybody and everything and have everything and then let everyone else starve. And we're reaching a point where people are waking up now,
yeah.
so that structure can't hold, so
Would
it
you
has to.
say we represent the green light, like in the Green Lantern cartoon? They're the amber.
Yeah,
We're the superheroes.
again, Hollywood and all these
Yeah,
movies, they tell
yeah,
you the truth, but they make it into entertainment,
yeah.
or they make it into like a story, and then they add lies to it, so you kind of think it's not real.
Stargate, for instance, is
Exactly.
Stargate just a TV show and a
No,
movie,
this is
or is it
real. These
real?
are all real
Can
things.
you point me in a direction? Because I want
You
out of
want to
here.
get out, yeah.
I want to go. I want to go to a place
We
where there's
all
peace
want to
and
do
love,
that.
Seqen, yeah.
Yeah, I hear
I'm
you.
around my brothers and sisters and my family, and it's just all nice.
Yeah.
But I don't want to end up in the wrong star constellation, though.
Well, this is why Wu-Sabat is here, and this is
Yeah.
why the master teacher is here. And what you've just said there is so key, because that's what it's really about. It's about, it doesn't matter who you are on this planet, it's about you proving yourself worthy
Yeah.
to be taken away from here, or to leave here, or to be told how to leave here, or taught how to leave here, because the planet is actually like, it's hell. It's
Yeah.
it's like prison for you to learn, to graduate, and to move on. So they will tell you stories like the Superman story, for example.
Khalil.
Right.
That
And
was,
the green
yeah.
kryptonite that
Yeah.
killed Superman, and
Yeah.
the S, which is really dealing with serpent
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You can, it's just so clear. But if you're not aware, or your third eye is not
Yeah.
open, then you're just looking at it like a movie, you know. So
Talking
Green
about,
Lantern,
yeah.
all these superheroes, they're really telling you about you, because you're the god, you're the one with the power. But like you say, you can use it in a positive or in a negative way,
Yeah.
because that's what you were saying, the book you opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are God and the devil at the same time,
Yeah.
but you have internal and you have external.
And that would
So
be the jihad, the Armageddon within.
within,
So
right?
everything we project and everything we feel is
Yeah,
around us.
that's right.
So, yeah.
So what happens is, though, people that are external, who know you don't know who you are yet, and they've taught you to look outside, they will promote and push you so that you use your
I mean,
disagreeable side more
yeah,
than your
I've
agreeable
been
side.
calling myself the Most High for the longest.
Yeah.
Would I be wrong in calling myself a Most High? Because unlike the gods of these religious books, I don't
Yeah.
believe in killing.
Yeah.
I don't believe in rape. I don't believe in basically the
Mm.
chaos that these so-called gods have.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Again, that ties into the realm of belief, because you said I don't believe in
Well,
it.
yeah.
But
Well, I know I'm not savvy.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But what it is you can call yourself the Most High. But the thing is, when that quote is made in the Bible, people leave the rest of it out, because
Yeah.
it says the Most High, and you are all children of the Most High. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you call yourself the Most High, what are we talking about? Because if I'm a runner and we run a race and I'm the winner, I can say I'm the Most High
Yeah.
of running 100 meters. If we're taking an exam and I come top, I
You're
can
the
say I'm
Most
the
High.
Most High of that
Yeah.
that class. You see what I'm saying?
Speaking
So
about religion, sorry to cut you,
nice,
brother.
right?
If the so-called devil
Yeah.
of these religious books hasn't actually killed anybody,
Mm.
but the gods have, wouldn't the gods of those religious books actually be the devil?
But this is where I was going, in terms of, even when you say the devil, see, that's again the trap of English and like the spell of words, because when you say the something,
Yeah.
like the Messiah, the Savior, you're making it like it's only one person,
Yeah.
you see. But when you say devils, there are many people that are devils,
Yeah.
because you have to go, okay, what does the word devil actually mean? You see,
Yeah.
it means a false accuser.
Yeah.
So when you break the words down to what they actually mean, it's like anyone who's ever falsely accused anybody is a devil, right? But there are many titles for the devil, like Shaitan, Iblis. You know, you can go on. There's some Beelzebub. You know, there's so many names.
Those
Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Flies. Sorry,
those Beelzebub wear Balenciaga.
probably there's somebody
I'll
that.
start wearing it when I seen all the
But what I'm saying is,
controversy. Like,
these terms, then the person that's trying to control you would then control your mind, because they would tell you there's a place called hell where the devil is, and he's got horns and a pitchfork, and he's there burning people and torturing people, knowing quite well that that place doesn't actually
it
exist.
would have been Dante's Inferno.
Right.
And,
So then everyone around who's doing devilishness gets ignored, because you're going to put it on this one person. Then you have to have the opposite to the devil, who will be God, right? And this is how they play the trick, because they know in science, in real life, there are two sides to everything. There's this duality when we're dealing with the third dimension. So going to be positive or you're going to be negative, or we say agreeable and disagreeable.
Yeah.
So now you have to look at yourself and say, like you were saying, am I killing like just for the sake of killing, murdering and doing things that don't make sense? Or am I in a situation where I'm hungry and I need to eat, so I've had to kill something to eat? Even then, it's still not justifiable,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, when you start to look at people that are doing things, because you said, I don't believe in killing, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that, which is good. But you can be put in a situation where if your life's in danger, it's going to be either,
Self-defense. Yeah.
there you go. So this whole thing is all about knowing what is actually being said, and people are misinterpreting it. Because if you really think about it, without having the devil, you can't have God.
Yeah.
Because what's God's job then? And he's not even doing a good job anyway, because he can't defeat the devil.
Yeah. Talking
People say
about
he was all powerful, most powerful, but then you're like, get rid of the devil then, and
yeah.
then he can't do it. So it's like,
Yeah. But
who is
also
more
doesn't make
powerful?
sense to me if
Mm,
Anu is the most high to the Anunnakis and he
yeah,
can't control his children, Enki and Enlil.
yeah.
Wouldn't he be like a Wakla father?
I
It
mean, in
don't make
street
sense.
terms, but
Yeah.
then again, you can have a good father that can't control his children, because your children
Unruly.
will
Yeah.
go out in the world and they might link up with other people and they don't listen to what you're
Yeah.
saying. So
The join out hood life. How we always
exactly,
say.
road life or whatever, and then
Yeah.
like they don't want to listen to their father.
Yeah.
So this is actually, when you go into the story, this is why he didn't choose Enlil or Enki. He chose Murdoch
Yeah.
to come and do the work, because he realized that the two of them were two extremes. You know, one was more passive, one was aggressive, and he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna," because obviously Murdoch is his grandson. I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna empower him, just like you might have children and they're not listening to you, but then you might, have a nephew or a cousin, or you know what I mean, someone
Yeah.
that you go, he's more sensible, so let me empower him and give him
Yeah.
the job to do. And kind of that's what happened in that Sumerian story, where Murdoch was chosen, and Anu gave him a weapon to try and defeat, what I
Yeah.
mean, Iblis and so on. So yeah. Mm. It's all about balance with Wu-Sabat. I know we just went straight into it. So obviously, for those listening, I'm Seqen, and Wu-Sabat is the future. It's what's been everybody's been waiting for a long time, whether people accept it or not. It's kind of like I was saying before, like the David and Goliath thing, because whenever something new comes, or when there's a big empire like Babylon the Great, right, which is the American Empire, when it's that big, people think it's going to be here forever. I mean, you can probably think of some department stores that were big in the day, Woolworths or whatever, that
Yeah.
are
So
not around anymore.
America's gonna do a Woolworths
Right.
basically.
So you've had the old Babylon, you had the Greek Empire, the Roman
Yeah.
Empire, even the British Empire, and now you got the new Babylon, which is America, and it's falling. And this is all stuff that's been predicted,
Yeah.
not just because a book says it, but when you look at how life works, yeah, you start off small, like a sperm, like a tadpole, and then you grow and you grow and you grow.
Yeah.
When you grow, you get to a point where you can't grow anymore. Even the universe, the stars, they grow and then they explode, because they've
Yeah.
expanded so much they have to fold in. When you look at like empires or even countries, they will grow to a point where it's overpopulated.
Yeah.
They've reached the market where there's no more to sell to. You've used the land up, you've got skyscrapers everywhere. If you ever go to America, New York or anywhere, it's like literally you're just surrounded by
Yeah.
skyscrapers. They
Yeah.
call it the concrete
100%.
jungle.
Talking about America, my
Yeah.
distant cousin, Donald J. Trump. Would you be able to give me some enlightenment on why he banned adrenochrome? Why he's put the Pizzagate scandal out?
Mm.
Is it a case of, do you think he's trying to do a Suge Knight and blackmailing all the celebrities and all the people so he can be the top of top bad man in power?
Well, if you really study and know what's going on, you will see, like I was just saying, that America has reached a point where it can't expand
Yeah.
anymore. It's it's now going to decline, like all the other empires before. And if you know about you know, the GDP in terms of the gross domestic products, and just like the fact that it owes so much money, trillions, because it went to a point where it was just printing money instead of
So it's
having.
a case of they have no choice to invade other countries to get their resources.
Well, yeah, right now it's a matter of he's kind of coming across like a bully because he's
I
like,
want Greenland, it's
yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Gaza,
you're doing a good
Gaza is mine.
impression.
It's another state of
Yeah.
America, it's
So
mine.
if you really study what's going on, I mean, we and Wu-Sabat try not to get into
Yeah,
the politics, or we say politricks, because really, whichever side you're on, you got the rich and the poor,
yeah,
and he's surrounding himself with rich people. And a lot of what he's doing, if you look at it closely, like tax cuts, and it's more to benefit the rich people.
yeah.
And then you've got, you know, like the world, like BRICS. I mean, he tried to scare people and saying that BRICS is not going anywhere and all of that kind of stuff. But if you really look at it, the American dollar is on the decline, and
Yeah.
it's like when you've got trillions and trillions of debt. That's what he's saying. He's like, I'm making cuts, and he's taking away a lot of jobs from the average person. He's talking about, you know, tariffs, you know, in many countries. Um, he's now trying to get back in bed with Russia. It's just like, if you really, and the master teacher obviously has written books and told us about this
Leviathan. Yeah,
Leviathan, 666, the beast, talking about the year 2000, what to expect, the Millennium Book, talking about the Luciferian conspiracy, and this all ties into all of these people and the plan of where literally now we're at that point where people call it Armageddon, or like talking about the war of agreeable and disagreeable. And this is where Wu-Sabat is here to like really level the playing field,
so
because
would all of these people be RH negative? Or the majority?
possibly, yeah,
Yeah,
because a lot of the bloodline, they try to maintain that bloodline
yeah.
of RH negative. But the thing is, that don't mean that,
The bad people.
yeah,
Yeah,
all people on the planet that have RH negative bloodline are bad. It's just that that's an extraterrestrial bloodline, and everyone on the planet is extraterrestrial
yeah.
in some way, shape, or fashion.
Saying that, what would make us different from being original mermaids and sirens coming out of the water
Yeah.
and walking on land, becoming Homo sauruses, evolving into humans? What would be the difference between us being that and the Draconians? Because we're all reptilian in some way or form.
Yeah, but that's the point. Like you say, like the draconian or the reptilian bloodline has mixed in with us,
Yeah,
because if you go back to the waters, as you said, sirens and so forth, there was a lot of mixing. Even when you look at the Anunnaki, you know that, you know, Anu had a draconian wife. You see,
yeah,
so there's mixture with people. We, even when you look at how, like I was saying, from a sperm to coming out,
yeah.
we're breathing water now. We're in water.
So if I was to have, let's say, I accidentally had intercourse with a celebrity
Mm,
and she had a baby,
mm.
would that baby come out looking like V in it? Or
But
like
the thing is, yeah,
Rosemary's Baby or something?
no,
And what do
the
we feed?
V, the
What do we
V,
feed the child again? Like,
the V thing is just entertainment and exaggerated. But there are different types of
yeah,
reptilians. That's the thing. So we are tied into that bloodline
I
because of the
don't want a
mixture.
reptilian baby. Like, not my baby.
But you're, that's what I'm saying. You're already a
Yeah,
reptilian. Your baby's
like
gonna be.
V. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not like that.
Like, I have to feed it hamsters and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, those
yeah,
ones are a particular species of reptilians that are here, and they can shapeshift and
yeah,
take on different forms. And in that movie, that's what they were showing you when they pulled off their skin. You
yeah,
could see that, you know, the reptile. But if you go back to like the Dogons, or, you know, people like
yeah,
in Mali who talk about, um when you're talking about Nomo, right?
yeah,
Nomo landed in the water,
yeah,
and they were in the waters. Every culture starts off in the water.
yeah.
So even when NASA or certain people go to like different planets, what do they look for first? Water. Because
Saying
wherever
that,
there's water, there's life.
yeah, my
Mm,
friend Gavin, big up Gavin,
mm.
he wanted to know the question: was the original beings on this planet civilized or uncivilized? So if
Well,
we're coming
there's
out
a
of the
thing
water,
again. When we say original beings, yeah, human beings tend to think that they're the only form of life with intelligence.
Yeah, I agree.
So you got jellyfish and you
Yeah,
got all types of beings that live in the waters and live on this planet that are far more intelligent than us. Even ants are more intelligent
but was it
because
in our nature to eat flesh?
no, not originally. But as
Okay.
I said, we've now been mixed in with the reptilian. So when you look at when you're evolving from your mother's womb, you're in a sack of water.
Yeah,
And then as you're growing, you got little legs, big head, big eyes, which is the gray.
yeah,
And then as you're evolving, you look at our skin, even though we're laughing up and saying about the
yeah.
reptiles, but
When
if
you
you look at
need
your
cocoa
skin,
butter.
even when you
Yeah,
do that, you can see these are webs.
yeah,
So we used to have webs here, if you think about it like that. So we are tied into that bloodline, but we've been saved by the fact that the Natharu, who were the original beings on the planet, who come from, Planet Risk and Orion and Sirius, they also mixed in with us. So this is why I was saying about the two natures. So you got your reptilian nature, even your reptilian brain, which ties into you being coming out of the waters and having that reptilian nature. But then you also got the Natharu's nature. So now the reptilian nature is being fed by this society because they push
yeah,
everything to feed your reptilian side, and that's why people will eat meat, blood meat, and they're aggressive and they're, do you know what I mean, just greedy and all that nature. But then you have the Natharu, which people say the God side,
yeah,
and you have the devil side. So you've got to now recognize your God side and start to kind of like get rid of the reptilian
yeah,
nature, and so you can stop eating, blood meat. You can stop being aggressive. You can be more peaceful, more calm, more like in harmony with
yeah,
nature,
yeah,
working like you were saying. You want to
yeah,
live peacefully, which a lot of people do. But if someone's around ahead of you and they're controlling the environment, they're controlling where you grow up, what you see with all your senses. They control what you buy, what you eat. They control everything. Then you kind of find it very difficult to lean to the other side.
Do
So you
you
have
think
to
the actual
learn.
system is actually built for us, where it's kind of
The what's built for us.
the whole system
Mm,
built for us? I mean, it's our ancestors
mm,
and the dollar bill, for instance.
yeah, it is, but you're not in control. That's the point
Yeah, but
because of what I'm saying. Like you've been forced to lean one
yeah,
way
there has to be
instead of.
bad in order for it to be good. So they could start off bad, but it could be a test for them to just put the righteous people in power afterwards.
When you
Everything has to
say,
happen for a reason.
of course, because
So
you're right, because this is what we're saying. Like the people that have been in control have only been in control for the last 6,000 years, and that was actually given to them to be in control. That's why when you read in the Bible, it says that Adam was given dominion over the planet to name everything. So that's what they've done. They've had rulership for the last 6,000 years, but it was also for them to reform and to. This is where like the Quran comes in with the bliss and all of that. Like, let's see if we give you a chance, can you reform? Can you change? But what's happened is at the end of the 6,000 years, they're now being judged because they're looking at what they've done and it hasn't been great. It's been a lot of chaos and destruction and killings and wars and famine and all this stuff. So now it's like, okay, we gave you a chance. Now it's time to go. And so you're right in that sense that, but people that are following that system is like the blind leading the blind. So sheep are going in a
yeah,
particular direction and they've been taught lies all their life and they think is right. And they're going down a road, they don't realize at the end of that road, you're going to the slaughterhouse. And then you see one sheep running that way, going the wrong direction. And everyone's looking at that sheep like, you're crazy. Why are you going that way? So the majority is not always right. So what it is now is people are waking up because their divine spark within them is being activated because natural nature is doing it.
yeah.
Because the 6,000 year sun cycle is here now, or the end of the 6,000 year moon cycle. And this was something that, if you study like how long we've been here, because you think based on what they teach in religion that it was all here 6,000 years ago. But then we know that, there are excavations, tombs are found, DNA is taken, and fossils are found that go back millions and millions of years.
Talking
So now
about
we're at
the,
that point where people are waking
would
up.
the actual, when we built the, what the Greeks call the Sphinx, would that originally be a lion's head before we got changed
That's right.
into,
That's right.
so that's at least 50,000 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
2 cycles.
Yep. And that's interesting
Yeah,
because when you go to Egypt, that's the other thing they do. They lie and they just date
yeah,
everything to 5,000 years ago.
yeah,
But you know what I mean? Like just people that scientists are even saying at least like you're looking at 10,500 years ago, because when you're looking at how the constellations lined up, this is what I was saying about when you're an ontologist and you've studied cycles and cycles
yeah,
and cycles, you go back to, okay, there was a time where there were dinosaurs. There was a time when, you know,
yeah,
different things happen to change. And now today, people are like, oh, everything's just like 6,000 years ago, which doesn't make sense. That's because the Adamites,
yeah,
they have to tie everything back to where they came on the scene. Because before that, they call it what? They call what they know history. Before history, they say
yeah.
pre-history. They say prehistoric.
Pre-dynastic or pre-dynastic,
Yeah,
and
or
yeah,
prehistoric,
yeah,
meaning before. And then when you say my story, they say it's a mystery because it's prehistoric. They don't know. So because they don't know, they won't listen to the people that were here before they came on the scene, which will be the Africans or will be us. So we are here now to like set the record straight because
yeah.
we have to tell our story now.
Saying that, how can we ever stop racism when every race has got its own superiority complex?
That's
It's the
why
most
our
difficult
slogan
thing.
is
Yeah,
no one wins the race in racism.
yeah,
And that's what the master
yeah.
came on the scene saying as well, because he's like,
We all aliens get over it.
yeah, it's like it's not a black and white thing, it's a grey thing. When
Yeah,
you really look at like the greys have been running this planet
yeah,
for a very long time. They're behind, you know, the scenes pulling strings and you know, so racism is it's a disease, it's something that was coined, and that's why religion can't be the answer.
yeah.
Religion focuses on a group of people coming together and saying we are right, we are going to heaven and everybody else is wrong and you're all going to hell if you don't do and believe as we do. That's why Islam, Christianity, Judaism, whatever flavor of religion, it's not
Yeah.
going to be the
So
answer
would I
because it's
be
divisive.
wrong for saying when a Christian comes up to me and says you need to find Jesus,
Mm,
I can either do one or two things: follow me since persons or put them into the way of our master teacher.
mm. Yeah, the funny thing is when you say a Christian,
There's
again,
many types, many
there's so
types.
many types of
Yeah.
Christians and people will just automatically think a Christian. But you ask a Christian, what is a Christian? They
S-
can't even tell you. They're gonna
Supposed to
say,
be Christ-like.
right,
Supposed to be, but
but what does that mean? And then
yeah,
which Christ? Because we
yeah,
touched on it, but there's more than one
yeah,
Christ in the Bible,
yeah.
one Jesus in the Bible.
Hmm.
And so first of all, you have to say, okay, you got Christians and you got anti-Christians or antichrists. Yeah, just like in Islam, you have people that want to live right, do the right thing, and then you'll have those who don't, who are terrorists and so on and so forth.
Talking
Which is,
about Islam, the hadiths, would the author Bukhari with the racist hadiths be Flavius Piso?
do you know what? That's a good point. There's a book called Christism, and we've got one called Mohammedism. I'll have to look into. I don't know the
Yeah,
correlation, but
yeah,
the Piso family ties into Joseph Flavius, as you
yeah,
know, and they literally are the ones that wrote the Gospels as plays,
yeah.
and over time they worked their way into the books that were made into the Bible, which are only 66 books. You know, obviously William Shakespeare and certain people,
Yeah,
but we're jumping a bit and not
yeah.
covering the points fully. But yeah, so racism is first of all like when you're running a race, there's types of races. Like you're running a race, or are you talking about genetics or whatever? Like what makes somebody more superior than
I mean,
somebody else?
I'm mixed race. Would
Yeah.
I be like Blade, a daywalker? Like two
You
powers
see
of
what the
sun.
thing is as well? Everyone's mixed
Yeah,
on the planet right now. Yeah. It just depends on the quantities of the mix. But no matter how much you're mixed, everyone is going to go back to the original anyway. That's why we say that, like, obviously you can get watered down, watered down, watered down, and watered down to the point where what the potency of the original is going to be, you know, less than the original.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're mixed with the dominant genes, then that's still going to be dominant. You have to decide yourself. This is why we say you're God, because you make the decision of, do you feed your agreeable side or the Natharu side, or do you feed the negative or the reptilian side? Do you feed racism, hate? Do you feed all the chaos, or do you want to feed the come together, unity, ashuk,
Yeah.
harmony?
100%.
It doesn't matter who you are, what skin suit you're in. That's why Wu-Sabat will win every time, because
100%.
it doesn't deal with religion. It deals with the facts. And if you can handle the facts, which is synonymous with the truth, truth is truth. It's not because I say it is. It's because nature says it is. It is what it is, you know. So you either accept it or you don't. But they all teach you in religion that when the truth comes, all false things will perish. But they just didn't expect it to be their thing, because
Yeah.
once you're now being put on the spotlight, let's examine what you're saying, pick it apart. When did it come about? Who wrote the books? What language was it in? Is it doing good in the world today, or is it doing damage? Who are you waiting for? Where they're coming from? Where they're gonna arrive? Like we were saying before, like if 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 you're in one side of the world, and let's say Jesus is arriving on the other side of the world, how are you gonna know? How are you gonna get there?
Can't.
Where is he, first of all? Where is he coming from? How is he traveling? How is he gonna arrive? Is it in a craft? Because if he's in heaven, and when you do the maths, you know, like if you say, because like I don't know in Birmingham, but like here, for example, if I want to travel from here to Brixton, I know how long it takes,
Yeah.
and I can pretty much guess, depending on the mode of transportation I'm taking, how long it will take me to get there.
Yeah.
So if you know where heaven is, which it tells you in the Bible, Uranus, Orion, Sirius, Arcturus, these are constellations, right?
Mhm.
You can actually use the speed of light. That's as fast as you can travel, right? To actually work out how long it would take you from planet Earth to say,
Probably take me a lot longer because I'm a lot heavier than most.
no, but I'm trying to say about Jesus, yeah,
Yeah.
coming back.
Okay.
He hasn't even arrived yet. He hasn't arrived in heaven yet, from because it will take more than
Yeah.
2,000 years
Scientifically, yeah, yeah.
to travel. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of these things are just like baby stories. Like
Yeah.
when you go to like nursery, you learn these things because your parents are trying to guide you, and they have to like give you stories in a way that's palatable for you. But when
Yeah.
you become an adult and you're using your own mind and you're
Father
asking
Christmas
questions,
goes out the way.
Father Christmas goes out of the
Yes.
way, because you now know, oh, it's dad and mum that are pretending
Yeah.
to be Father Christmas and putting the presents
Talking
and
about truth, can we touch on Abdul Malik and Ibn Hanifa?
okay, what do you want to say
Like,
about?
who was the real Muhammad and who was
Yeah,
the false Muhammad?
yeah. Again, a lot of people don't know this. You know, they just think there's only one Muhammad, but the false one was Muslimat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, in the holy tablets and many of our scrolls, we talk about the you know the real Muhammad, who was, you know, an Arabian born to the tribe of Quraysh, and he received the information for his people, just like everyone else gets information for their people. Now, of course, people can share or get involved with it, but it wasn't really for the entire world. It was for the Quraysh,
Yeah.
the tribe of the Quraysh. And so the Arabic is different. This is where when you start to look at things properly, not just go by the hype or the belief, you like, okay, the Arabic today is not the same Arabic that was back then,
Yeah.
because the Arabic today, they call it modern Arabic. It's using a system of tajweed, and
Yeah.
you know, they got like the strokes, the vowels like tamabuta and all
Yeah.
of that was not in the original. So it has changed, and no one has an original of anything today. And so when you start to look at, okay, you're telling me this book is from Allah and it's only 1400 years old, and when you go into the details and the history and the different, like you say, the two Muhammads and so on, you find out that there's a lot of information that hasn't been shared with the world. Even when you're talking about like what they call the companions, a lot of them, they claim memorized the entire Quran and then relayed it from memory, and this is how it was put together. The Quran today is not even in the same order that it was in. So in Islam, you get this narrative that is sold to you like, you know, this is the original word, the Bible's been tampered with, Muhammad is the last prophet, da 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 da. There's no racism in Islam, etc., etc. And then when you start to look at the fact that you got different types of Arabs, and the successor that is, you know, dealing with Abu Bakr,
Should have been Ali.
it should have been Ali. They went about trying to wipe out their family
Yeah.
and, you know, push this
Well, the
Muslim
family's still here.
right. So that's where it all ties
Yeah.
back into the master teacher and the
Yeah.
bloodline of
Yeah.
him related to the Mahdi. I see you got the Mahdi there. So some people don't want to accept who that is.
They haven't got a choice.
That's the thing. The thing about truth is
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it's still truth. You know, so that's why he came on the scene as Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. Because like I was saying, when you look at a person's name and title, it's not like today where people just name their children Shaniqua or anything. It's like traditionally with culture, you name your children and you put like the father's name, the grandfather's name, so that you can trace the lineage.
Yeah.
That's how I was saying about Haile Selassie, for example. You can't, they say, you know, try and relate him to like Menelik and all of that, but Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, showing you his bloodline is to the Mahdi
Of Sudan.
of Sudan. And yeah, just like everyone else that comes along, the way the devil works, because remember that even in the scriptures, they tell you the devil was cast down here from heaven and he's got children and he's got offspring, which ties into there's not one devil, right? But so on the planet, the way the devil works is he makes evil fair seeming. He has to use chaos. He has to give you choices
Yeah.
because by giving you a choice, you think you're making the decision. But if I put like 3 things for you to choose from, I already know whichever one you choose is going to be my decision, right? So this is what happens with religion. They give you the options to choose. They give you every good person, they will give you a person that's conflicting that. So just like you got God, you got the devil. Anyone that came along, Muhammad, you'll have a false one. You have any person you can think of today, like that was teaching, they would always put someone in the mix
Yeah, and
to
change the actual
confuse,
teachings as well.
to change
I
the teachers
mean,
and confuse everyone.
studying the actual real Muhammad, the master teacher says he was a student of Ra.
Mm.
Would that be the case before the L's got involved and changed it from Ra or Ray to
Yeah,
Allah?
exactly. So when you're looking at like Islam, Christianity, Judaism, that's why I said they all get their roots from
Egypt.
ancient Egypt. Everything is lined up, you know. So they will say there's only, oh, the Egyptians worship many gods and they're pagans. But then in Islam, you have 99 names, which are attributes of Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, you know,
Galat.
exactly.
Yeah.
Female,
Yeah.
male, and female. And it's the same in Christianity. So you're right that the whole system of religion comes from ancient Egypt with, like you say, Ra being that one original god. But Ra is relating to the sun because everyone knows that on the planet, without the sun, no one will survive. No Muhammad, no Jesus, no one on the planet will be able to survive without the sun.
Talking about that, in Masonry, they say the original Kaaba is Masjid al-Haram, which is Solomon's temple.
Mm.
Why do people walk around a black stone in Mecca and kiss it like it's a gyal?
Yeah. Again, this is where misinformation comes in because even when you say Kaaba,
Carton bar would be spirit and soul
Kaaba
force.
will be, the soul and spirit and soul.
Yeah.
You see, so you can literally, like, Islam's 1400 years old. Like, that's tiny in the scheme of things, yeah? Like, 1400 years old to when you're talking about life of millions and millions of years is tiny. And there's nothing in Islam you can't find in the New Testament. And then the New Testament, it's only 2000 years old. And they try to get away from the Old Testament because they say it's a New Testament, a renewed testament. But then contradict the fact that Jesus said not one word can be changed, not one dot or tittle can change. So you can't change the laws, you can't change the word. So how are you going to have a New Testament? They only do that because then they introduce new things. They say, oh, the old laws we don't need to do with anymore because Jesus has come and he's now taken away the sins of the world, and now we can do things that we're not
I
supposed to
mean,
do.
would we be like the original Yashua? Yashua's teacher would have been Tahuti.
Yeah,
We follow Tahuti now as the master teacher.
yeah.
So we're the
We're the
saviors.
originals in
Yeah,
everything. So when you say would we be the originals, again, going back to the word savior, we are the original saviors. Like without us on the planet, when you start to go into electromagnetism and dealing with like 9 ether and 6 ether and dealing with melanin and dealing
yeah,
with ether, you'll find out that everything is held together by ether and melanin.
yeah.
So like literally everything, like you couldn't get knowledge from a book, because even if you look at a book, you got white paper, but you have black ink. You can't write white on white. So the source of knowledge comes from black. This is why in the Bible, in the Quran, in all the religious books, it said, God said, let there be light. And then in Islam, they will tell you Allah is the light of the heavens and earth. So light comes up after
Yeah.
darkness.
Triple state darkness into it.
Exactly. So
Talking
yeah,
about
black is
Allah.
always going to be, and not in the sense
Yeah,
of racism either,
yeah,
because we're not talking about color. We're talking about supreme balance, the
yeah,
state of existence before light was created.
yeah.
Mm.
Talking about Allah, Allah being a title,
Mm.
would that be the title that Nana Sin, the moon god, is trying to achieve?
When you say Allah, the word actually comes from the Arabic Allah. It's two
Ilah,
words,
Ilah, yeah,
ilah, which became, well, actually ilah, which is the Hebrew, Elohim,
yeah,
then grafting into Islam. All it means is the source.
yeah,
You see? So again, when you know the words and the meanings, like the confusion's gone.
yeah,
Because when you said the source, well, I just said the sun is the source of life on this planet.
yeah,
That's why we in ancient Egypt gave reverence to the sun, because we understood that without the sun, there would be no crops, no life. So we would raise our hand to Amun Ra and give reverence or kind of like respect.
yeah.
And then people turn that into, oh, you're worshiping the sun. No, you're not. It's like
It's giving
you're
thanks.
just giving thanks.
Yeah,
Like we breathe, so we will get up and breathe and be like, I'm thankful that I can breathe and I'm still alive. Do you know what I mean? So what we did naturally in terms of being one with nature, that's where you get the word natiru,
true.
to come to nature. We were in tune and in harmony with nature. We respected
Yeah,
nature because we know that nature provides for us. But then you have someone who doesn't understand that. They come and they want to poison the water, cut the trees.
everything's out of balance.
Everything's out of
Yeah,
balance. And then we wonder why we're suffering,
yeah,
because now Mother Nature is suffering
yeah,
and we're connected to Mother Nature. So, yeah, it's all about the intellect, which is really intelligence, to know what's right from wrong or what to do that is in harmony with nature. And so, yeah, Amun Ra. So we start to look at ancient Egypt, the way until this day, everyone's telling you the Egyptians were so smart, so they built the pyramids. They can't understand or work out how they did it.
well, I can. I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
We use cement blocks. Because if you check the pyramids now, you can see the air pockets where the cement would have formed to create the stone.
Mm,
Back to our ancestors, could you explain the Ptah and Canaan creation and
mm.
the Bess and Ptah fallout?
Yeah, I mean that's where, like I said, the gravitation of religious dogma from ancient Egypt. Because if you look at, because you talk building again, that goes into masonry.
Yeah,
That's what an original mason is. It's a builder, somebody that works with bricks, and it's a builder. But not only building physical things, but also building things that exist before they come into the
yeah.
physical world. This is why the word atom, right? Because you start to deal with atoms
Adam.
when you
Yeah,
go, yeah, and then atoms
yeah,
taken from atoms, and then you go to atom, you start to look at these beings in ancient Egypt, our ancestors, who were in harmony and they worked together. It wasn't about one person, it was like triads.
yeah.
The reason it's a
All is one.
yeah, because when you look at a triad or three things, tri means three, yeah? It's because you got 2 points in everything, yeah? So if you got hot, you're gonna have cold. You up, you're gonna have down. Yeah, left, right. You got a polarity, but there's a middle point where it's neither either or, right? So that middle point is the balance where there are two sides, because if you were to go from one, this is where the circle comes in, yeah, you just end up
Yeah.
back with one, from hot to cold, because ice can be so cold that it will burn you. Yeah, you call it frostbites or
Yeah.
whatever. So the point I'm making is that because they knew and understood the polarity, the middle point is a balance. Now, if you take that middle point and take it upwards like that, you'll have that point there, yeah, like a line, and then connecting all 3 points, you get the pyramid,
Yeah.
because that's the most
Yeah.
stable structure. So the triad of like Egypt, you'll have Atum, or the motions of the sun. Yeah, that's where it became Atum, Atun,
And I'm on.
and Amun.
Yeah.
But in the middle, you always had the sun, because they understood and respected the sun. So this is where the word Ra. So you then get
Yeah.
Ray, because we didn't pronounce it as Ra.
Right.
We said Ray or Ray.
Yeah.
So you have Atumra or
Yeah.
Atumre, Atunre, Amunre. But there's also the dark point where it's the unknown, because that's the darkness where, like I said, things come from darkness into
The light.
the light. So when you go to the periodic table of the elements, they get to a point where they say, okay, this is where the physical world starts from, with the hydrogen atom. The word atom becomes Adam, right? But going beyond the atom, we're going into ether, or to things that exist, but they haven't quantified them yet, or they don't know that they exist. This is where we exist in.
Yeah.
And so they go E1, E2, E3, E4, going
To
9
light.
levels
Yeah.
into ether. And they say, quarks, Ziads,
Quasars. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
going that way. But at that point, they didn't know about that world, because they didn't have the apparatus or the equipment
Yeah.
to detect things that were smaller than the atom. But as technology evolved and extraterrestrials
Yeah.
helped and come in giving information, they started to say, is the atom really the smallest thing?
I mean, it's crazy
So
because
they started to subdivide them.
the smaller you go, the bigger it gets.
That's right.
So you can zoom down to the smallest you could ever be, and it creates. So
That's
whatever you
right.
think will create more.
Yeah, because like I said, it's about expanding
Yeah.
and then collapsing. This is why we breathe
Yeah.
in and out. There's always that polarity. Everything has that motion in and out, up and down. And the beings that know of the knowledge of how they put the atoms together to create life. This is what we're talking about masonry in terms
Yeah.
of the building blocks of life.
Yeah.
Then you start to go into subatomic. You start to go into the etheric beings,
Yeah.
or the Etherians that exist outside of not only our planet, but outside of what people call people, places, and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're responsible for setting life in motion. They create planets, they create galaxies. They can destroy them if they become a problem,
Yeah.
because when you start to deal with the laws of cause and effect, this is where we're moving away from religion now. We're starting to use intellect and talking
Yeah.
on a higher level. You start to know that for every reaction, there's
There's a
a
reaction.
exactly,
Yeah.
and a, a small thing this tiny
Can create a butterfly effect. Well,
can
yeah.
have a
Yeah.
massive impact on the entire atomic energy. Like, they can affect the whole galaxy, the whole universe, and then it will have an effect on the other beings that live outside of our planet in other galaxies and so forth. So our ancestors had a situation where their star collapsed, which was,
Yeah.
Sirius C, and then they had to relocate. And when you're talking about you've evolved to the level where you're not worried about racism and hate and famine and
Just need to be about
homelessness.
love and caring for one another.
Yeah, you're
Like,
thinking on
yeah.
the level of every creature on the planet. You have to think about them.
Everything is one.
Everything is one, you
Yeah.
see. So you have to start to think about what happens if our solar system collapses, if that sun dies, what are we going to do? So they knew this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they plan to, build ships and travel and
Yeah.
go to different parts of
Talking
the world.
about things collapsing, like I'm convinced. I just feel my foresight's telling me, my third eye's telling me, sorry, that
Mm.
there's going to be a great blackout where the governments are going to try and say it's a solar flare, or it's going to be a path coming, the meteorites and comets and everything. And it's going to be like a feeding time for the reptilians, because if everything's shut down, there's no banks, everybody's money's got wiped. We need our own currency, because everything's going to be straight on Web 3.0 then. Is there anybody that you know, or anybody in the community, where we can create our own cryptocurrency?
We've got all of that. Those
This
things
is why I
that
love you guys.
those things are quite
This
minor.
is why I love you guys.
Yeah, because but even then,
Yeah.
our currency is really nature.
Yeah.
Because when you really think about it, all this, and when we say currency, the truth is currency.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Love is currency.
Yeah.
And people get given the wrong outlook in life because they try to think that material things are what is currency, you know, like
Yeah.
a lot of people try and like stack gold and, you know, gold is the thing. Gold is valuable, but what's more valuable, if you had all the gold
Health
in
is
the
the
world
most valuable thing.
and I had
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
and I had food, I'll just wait for you to starve and I'll just take your gold. Do you know what I mean? Like when
Talking
you
about
really look
gold,
at things, I mean, for now, yes, people are using gold,
talking about
but
gold,
nature is really
gold is
yeah
only valuable because people or extraterrestrials put the value on
on it,
it.
like everything else.
Yeah.
You only think something, and that's why cryptocurrencies, as you said, have come in, because in a way they kind of broke away from this whole kind of like centralized,
Yeah.
you know, the people at the top controlling everything, you know, they decide who gets money, who doesn't. And of course they're trying it even now with like come in with their own versions of the
Chum coin.
or the CBDCs,
Yeah.
which are
Timed.
government digital currencies, programmable money. It's all about
Yeah.
being able to monitor and know. In fact, there's a law that they're passing now, which is going to give governments access to all your information. Obviously, with AI and stuff like that, you know, this is things that the master warned us about years ago in the year 2000 to what to expect,
Yeah.
the Millennium Book, all the ones, you know, we mentioned before. So we know that nature is more powerful than anything. So we got to get back in tune with nature. We got to get back to being who we are. And you're actually more powerful. Your mind is more powerful than anything out there. This is why, even though it looks good, like what Trump is doing, the reality is that, you know, the empire is falling. And it's about community now. It's about truth. It's about people coming together and building communities. And remember that it's all about energy as well. Like the energy that you put out will create your reality, as you were saying. So our energy is about unification, love, peace, unity. And when you are moving like that, the world that is looking like it's shining and is winning at the moment, you will see that it actually has no power.
Glitz and glamour's gone.
Yeah, like people are attracted to shiny things. Like if you put a shiny £1 coin there and you put a £20 note, a baby's gonna automatically go for the pound because it's shiny, and that's where the luster comes in, because the glitz and the luster and that. You can even look at music videos, yeah. When Diddy and them man came in, they started wearing all this fancy shot, like bright stuff, because people are easily fooled by the things that glitter, and not all that glitters is gold, you know. So we're at the point now where people are going back to like taking stock.
Saying that,
Yeah.
do you think Draco, did something or hasn't done something? That's why everybody's going after him now. I've never seen a boy get. I've never seen a boy get destroyed on that level.
But the thing is, again, this is what we're saying about stars, yeah, because this is what they are. They're stars. Stars are shiny, right? They're like, I'm gonna make into star. I'm gonna make into Hollywood and all of that, yeah. But you forget it's the same puppet master.
Yeah.
Everyone's going on about Kendrick Lamar, like
Yeah.
he's not in the system.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they use the system, but you're still a puppet in the system yourself. So whether it's Drake or Diddy, or there's always a new flavor. Like
Yeah.
we can go back in time and see who was the new flavor, and some of those rappers you can't even remember their names.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where it would be LL Cool J, then it would be this one, it would be that one, and they're just all like the lesser
Conveyor
luminaries.
belt. It's a
Yeah,
conveyor belt.
they're
Yeah.
pawns. They're just being used, and the biggest trick the devil, if you've watched the movie Fallen, the biggest trick the devil pulled is what? Convincing the world he doesn't
Yeah.
exist. So you're on
Saying that, could we get onto this Nana guy?
yeah.
Who is this Nana sin? Because just the name alone,
He's an
it doesn't sound hard
extraterrestrial
though.
being that is what we used to call, the overlords that was feeding the powers that were running this world, because you're really talking about Lucifer, or he's known by many titles, and Lucifer is not just one person either, because you're talking about Cypher or Sifir is a circle.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the circle or the brotherhood or the people that are within that circle. You saw the movie End of Days with
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that. But the point is that these so-called stars, they want to be like Nana, because Nana is the morning star. That's who he's referred to as, and Lucifer, how has
It
that
also
fallen?
calls Jesus the morning star in
Exactly. So
Revelation.
that's what I'm saying. It's not just
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah.
Anyone who is in that circle, or the Order of the White Lodge, or the
Yeah.
the brotherhoods that belong to the Illuminati, or these luminaries, or these people that think they're enlightened. Because again, remember, they push light, because Illuminati means that what? The enlightened ones, or
Yeah.
those that supposedly are in the know and they know what's going
I
on.
mean, to be fair, all they do is study us.
Yeah.
So how can they be the most knowledgeable when they just study us?
Light comes out of darkness. This is
Yeah.
what I'm keep
Yeah.
saying. So
Yeah.
it always goes back to the fact that because they give you the glitter and the glamour and the Hollywood and the stars, the movies, and most Nagaru are like entertainers. They just there to calm things down and make it into a joke, and they are movie stars, they're entertainers. And then on the serious side, business and so forth, they will have people like, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump, and all of these people. But look at their track record, and look at their, like, how they came into power and where they got their money from. Did they really have any substance, any intelligence, anything behind it? No, if you really study them. So yeah, it's our time. It's nine ether time. It's sun cycle time. It's the Aquarian age. It's the time of higher consciousness for people that are waking up.
Saying that, I want to get back on prophecy. I mean,
Mm,
we've had books about the Titanic before the Titanic's happened. We've had this book about Baron Trump,
mm,
my father, the last president.
mm.
Is everything kind of Rasta?
Well, it's literally
You,
time
yeah.
travel.
Okay.
Time travel. And people, again, when you say time travel, they already gave you movies like Back to
Back
the
to the Future.
Future and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff that they try to take something that is real and make it into entertainment, or to make it into something that, oh, it doesn't exist. But time is not linear, as in, it starts here and it's just going forward. It's more in a cycle, but a spiral. That if you think about a spiral spiraling,
I'm glad you said time travel because I'm actually from the future.
okay.
I've come back to say that you're a prophet. so,
And that's
so,
how religions
so
start.
it's
An angel came to Gabriel and told him that blah blah
saying
blah.
that.
And you can say that with all
Yeah.
the stories.
Why would the angel strangle out Jacob? Would that Jacob who had the WWE match
Yeah,
with the angel
yeah.
be the Yakub?
Right. You see, again, some of these stories are symbolic.
Yeah.
And that when you said that, what I remember straight away was the movie They Live,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Where
Roddy Piper.
it was a
Yeah.
wrestle, like a
Yeah.
fight to tell this guy, put on the
Yeah,
glasses.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if you put on the glasses, you can see what's going on. And so that's what we're talking about with Jacob, right? Wrestling. Like, we will bring the truth, Wu-Sabat, to people, and we'll show them all these facts and say, listen, this is what's going on the planet right now. We've even known about this for 50 years, because a master teacher has been teaching for more than 50 years. And it's not just said it, he's put it in books. So you can go back and pick up a book from 20, 30, 40 years ago, and he was telling you everything that's happening now. So when you're dealing with extraterrestrials and time, you can go back in time and forward in time and come back to where you are. There are effects that happen. If you go back in time, you don't really lose your allotted time here. But if you go forward in time, you can lose some of your time
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
present.
yeah.
And it's all scientific to deal with how you've been programmed and put together by way of your DNA and your telomeres, which are the end of your chromosomes, right? Which literally can tell you how long you live. Because like you were saying with crypto, it's programming. You can program yourself, and you program yourself by how you think, what you put into your body, what you eat, do you exercise? You know, all of these things will give you a shorter lifespan or a longer lifespan. So anybody can actually extend their life, but some people they can't because it's set. You know, like if
Yeah,
you're into programming, coding, you can have code which is hard coded. It's like programmers will know what I'm talking about. Like if you have a
yeah.
constant, you'll have a specific figure that is set and is hard coded, and so you can't change that. Like a computer, right? You have ROM, read-only memory, which you can't change, but you have RAM, which is random access memory, which is volatile and you can write to it and
Talking
so on.
about computers, would our original bias be our soul, and all of these programs like Leopard, Windows, be religious programs? We need
Exactly.
to wipe it back to the
Yeah,
bias. Yeah,
you need to literally use an antivirus, do some
yeah.
defragmentation,
Yeah.
right? You literally need to clean your
How about you
system.
just smash the hard drive?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you got to
yeah,
start again. And it's not that hard because it's like if you've been smoking for years, you're just
yeah,
smoking cigarettes and you become a chain smoker or whatever, you're smoking 20, 40 packets a day. They tell you like in 1 or 2 days of stopping, your health gets back to
yeah,
really, you know, good in very, very short space of time. And then of course you start to clean your lungs out, you get the herbs and so
yeah,
on. I'm just saying like all it's as easy as changing your mind. Just literally
yeah,
reprogram your mind because everything you see, take in, transmits into energy, into electrical signals that feed your brain, and the you know the synapses that are
yeah.
communicating this information. So you can literally reprogram yourself, and that's what Wu-Sabat does. It's like you start off again with a clean slate, and you're willing to learn as a baby, and just examine everything, question everything, research, and then see who the master teacher is and why he's here in this day and time. And each one teach one or each one reach one and then teach one, and that's all it is.
About the master teacher,
Mm,
it hurts me that he's tried to help the whole world, and people have done him the way they've done him and lied. And
mm,
do you
yeah,
think the devil can ever be reformed? Because there's some wicked people out there that can make up horrific things, and
mm,
every time we get close to having somebody that's here for our good,
mm,
don't lock them up.
yeah,
Like it's a fear of the Black Messiah, J. Edgar Hoover.
mm-hmm,
It's out of order.
yeah,
No doubt, me doing this is
yeah.
gonna be an issue.
Issue
But
to who though? This is what I'm saying. Like this comes back to the programming of fear. You know, like I always say, it's that false evidence appearing real.
yeah,
And
I
we
like that.
feed and give,
I like
yeah,
that.
we feed into this narrative and like they're gonna get me all these people
Yeah,
and all of that. And like all you do is just give them power because
yeah,
if you're not doing anything wrong, when is it wrong to tell the truth? Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
if you look in history, anyone who's come teaching the truth, that's what happens. Like
yeah,
they get everyone to like go against them, and if
yeah,
possible, they will imprison them, and then if possible, they will, you know, unalive them. And we, the people, we've seen this narrative over and
yeah,
over and over again. I think you would think by now that we're awake to know the games, like you
yeah,
said, like COINTELPRO and all of this kind of stuff. And the key is, are we awake enough? Because if I keep doing the same thing to you over and over and over again, and you keep falling for it, then I can keep doing it all day long. But if I do it and you wake up, then I know I've got a problem.
yeah,
This is what I'm saying with the whole Kendrick and everything. Like before they say this thing about eyes wide shut, they would do it in front of your face.
Yeah.
But today, people are awake, so people will take out their mobile phones. Anything that happens now, it only takes seconds before the whole world knows about it.
Yeah.
So it's not hidden like before, where they could pull the strings and control everybody. From now, it's like the masses are still giving the few the power to kind of rule them when they have more power. It's like the hamster, going around, and you open the cage and it doesn't realize it's free, and it keeps going
Yeah.
around. Like, that's what people are doing now. But fortunately, we're in a different day and time. We're in the sun cycle. We're in the time where people are waking up. Like you said, that soul is getting ignited, because truth is truth. You feel something. You know when
Feel it in
somebody's
my solar plexus
exactly.
right
So
now.
people are like, you know what?
Yeah.
He's speaking the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what the master has done. All he's done is, all he was programmed to do is come and teach the truth. And that's what he's done consistently
Yeah.
from day one till now. And he's the longest lasting in terms of longevity. He's the only person. That's why what he has taught has lasted and is effective till today. Because everyone else that's not teaching the truth will fade away.
Yeah.
Those that are teaching the truth are just going to come together.
Yeah.
And that's the future. So, we just got to get more people aware, more people. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what color skin you're in. It's just like, it will spark you off. And if you have that spirit, that soul, and you want to do the right thing, you're going to do the right thing. Others might just ignore it. But ignoring something doesn't mean it's not there. It's still going to be
I
there.
mean, look, I like snow bunnies. Come on. Sorry, Dr. Umar. Snow bunnies. Wu-Sabat,
You're
please.
funny, you know that. Yeah, even like I said, you got good people like teaching out there, but they also have to come together. They have to. They can't. No one, Dr. Umar, whoever you are out there, you know what I mean. You got to reckon with the truth as well, with Wu-Sabat, and
100%.
let's come together, because that's how we're gonna win.
Division, or all division does is cause more division.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, I noticed something the other day. I've seen when you said something about the word Faraka, meaning division.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Faraka, no.
Yeah, phonetically, innit?
Yeah.
Phonetically.
Yeah. It's all there, Billy.
Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah.
It's in front of you. That's why I say, look at title, look at names, break them down. Like, it's no coincidence.
Yeah.
Like, if you had conscious, righteous parents, they're gonna choose a name for you that's gonna make sense. And you just go, I mean, so they might use Christianity or religion, they might go Michael. Okay, cool. Who's Michael? Michael is the archangel, Murdoch, Michael, and it's a good name. So, but the most authentic is going to be with the right tones and the right vibration when you're calling on those powerful beings that can help you. And that's why we say, why no help from above? Or, do you know what I mean? People are in churches praying all day. They don't know who they're praying to. They don't know who they're giving their energy to. They're not getting any help. They do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, which is another definition of madness, because you can only go around the roundabout so many times before you got to take an exit, or you're not going to go anywhere. So people have been going to church, going to the mosque, reading the same stories for 20, 30 years, and there's no change. Like, that's dead. Anything that doesn't change is dead. Like, you only change your clothes because you're alive, because a dead person doesn't need to change their clothes, right? So it's like, change is constant, and the only change you're seeing today is Wu-Sabat. Everything else is dead. Even when you mention, Farrakhan, is a brother, is a good brother, but he was going towards Scientology, and you already mentioned, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's still based on religion. Islam, whether it's coming from Moorish Science Temple, it's still going back to Arabs. It's still religion. It's like Christianity is Romans, Greeks. Everything religion has got a weak foundation. So if your entire organization or whatever you're working on is got the foundation of religion, it's not going to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's dead. It's literally a 6,000-year-old, story that
Stuck in
comes
the
from the
moon cycle,
Anunnaki, and
stuck
you're
in the
just
moon
stuck in,
cycle.
you're just stuck in the same circle.
Saying that, I've got a moon and crescent star.
Yeah.
I accidentally done this when I was about 12. I was playing Street Fighter at school. How you kill my friend. He got his toe stuck in my hand.
Yeah.
He was a Muslim. He said, I've marked you. Like, where did the
Yeah,
moon and star?
it sounds
Yeah.
nice, but that's coincidence, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, like, what does that mean, really?
I'm
Do you
just
know what I
wanting to
mean?
know, where does the moon and star?
Yeah, the moon and star, it goes back to religion, because if you look at religion, they symbol, or whatever symbol you represent, you will push, you know, you represent it. Like the stars, you got two stars, 6-pointed star and a 5-pointed star. And that literally ties into the sons of Canaan,
Yeah,
the
the
11
5
sons
and
of
the 6.
Canaan.
Yeah.
Add 5 plus 6 together, and the 5 represents the Pentagon, and you know the Baphomet, and the 6 goes back into, you know, you look at Israel, that's an interlocking star.
Did the Rothschilds create Israel?
Yeah, I mean that there's, in terms of when you look at the state,
Yeah.
it's controlled by the richest families, because everything really comes down to money in their world.
Yeah.
That's why they put it on the dollar bill, in God we trust. But the thing is, people hear words like in God we trust, but they don't ask the question, which God?
Yeah.
Because you've been told that there's only one God. It's just like I keep going back to the Kendrick thing. He's saying they don't care about us. No one says,
Who's the us?
who's the us?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like when you start to decipher and break things down, like it's like Luther Vandross singing a really nice love song, and all the women in the audience are going, "Oh, he's singing about me," but he's gay, or
Yeah.
he's singing to a man.
Yeah.
But these are the things that Wu-Sabat pulls apart.
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah.
let's get to the detail of like, who are we talking about? So when they take on countries, they put a stamp on them,
Yeah.
you know, and that's normally a 5-pointed star or a 6-pointed star. The crescent obviously deals with the moon, because you're dealing with religion. In religion, it's either sun worship or it's moon worship. And when you look at Islam,
Moon.
they say they're with the moon, but they actually can't do their prayers without the sun.
Yeah, because the original cycle, where it would have been Ramadan,
Yeah.
would have been like December 25th, the day of Al Kahf. It's got changed to the moon cycle
Yeah,
afterwards.
exactly. Even
So yeah.
the language is moon letters.
Yeah.
It's so much going to the moon. But then you say, why the moon? Because the moon has no light. The moon is it gets its light from the sun. It's a reflection of the sun. So you're dealing with dead when you're dealing with the moon, because you're dealing with the moon cycle. The moon cycle is what's been in effect for the last 6,000 years, where everything was dead. And now the sun's back. It's a sun cycle. Sun deals with living and being alive.
Yeah.
And that's why it ties in with your solar plexus, which we're saying
Yeah.
your soul. Because you look at the word solar, you look at the word soul, the way it was spelled originally was SOL.
Yeah.
So you're talking about now is activating the light within you. Everyone's got that light, but some people have allowed it to get so dim because of all the programming that you got to bring that light back out. You got to shine again, and
You gotta
that's
be
by
Bruce Leroy.
reactivating.
You've got to be Bruce Leroy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's
You
why,
got
like,
you reactivate.
yeah.
You got to reactivate, and
Glow.
unless you've got to the point where it's just it's dead. Like
Yeah.
you can't be, if you're in a coma. Do you know what I mean? There might be an opportunity to wake back up from
Yeah.
it, but it's going to take more work.
Is
You
there
know?
a Sabaean way that to contact our loved ones that have passed away? I mean, I lost the love of my life, my mother,
Yeah,
like Easter. What would be the way we can contact our loved ones?
yeah. You haven't lost them. This is
Oh,
again,
yeah.
religion teaches you
She's
that.
not in the physical. I know she's passed
Yeah,
over, but
exactly. Energy can't be
yeah,
destroyed. So all you're doing is translating or transforming from one state to
yeah,
another, just like water does, right?
yeah,
So water can be ice, can be liquid, and then it can become steam or
yeah,
gas, and it goes back to water. Water is always going
yeah,
back to water. No matter how much you try to, like, you can put water in a jar, tighten it,
yeah,
keep it there for years, you go back, it's going to be
yeah,
gone. So what we're doing is we're constantly going back,
yeah,
but there are many stages you go through to get back to the source. And so your mother is just in another realm. And we have rituals in Wu-Sabat that teaches you how to communicate and contact them. And there are beings in other realms that affect you in the physical without you knowing as well. Spirit being, disembodied beings, you know, we can talk about succubus and incubus, and there are beings in different
I've met a
states.
couple of girls like that. To be fair,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you can change your environment, you can change your energy, you can communicate with your ancestors. What they've done is tell you to stop communicating with yourself internally by looking inward and then looking to your ancestors and your bloodline, but tell you to worship other people's bloodlines.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all right to worship Jesus or Muhammad or whoever in, you know, the color and makeup of another race. But when you do it to your ancestors, oh, you can't have pictures in Islam, or
Pagan,
is
pagan.
pagan and
Yeah.
is blasphemy.
Yeah.
So we know that's not true. We
Well, it's
connect
like
with
this:
our
if
ancestors.
they what they call the creator God to them, wouldn't that be their ancestor?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
People can
yeah.
say to you, my creator is God, which comes from the word Gad,
Yeah.
which is going to German, and you say to them, no, your creator is your mum and dad. They will argue with you, say, no, it's not. God created me. I'm like, your mum and dad came together and they had, you know, they did the sexual act and the sperm went into the ovum and your mother grew you and you came out. That's who created you. But they're trying to say no. Like they will argue with you to say it's God. And then you say, where is God? Who is God? Where is God? They can't tell you. So you're like, nothingness created you.
Yeah.
But you can't prove this
Yeah.
nothingness. But then when you go to the actual books and the scriptures, it tells you these are beings like walking, talking, they've got names. You know, Enlil, Enki, Yahweh is, this is who they're talking about, you know. So yeah. It's just about waking up and I know it might be daunting for some people. They may be afraid because they've been doing this all their life.
Yeah.
But when you do, you realize you take a big weight off your shoulder because you don't have to be restricted to a book that says if you don't do as the God or the Allah or the deity in this book says, he's going to burn you up and he's going to put you in hell. And then
Why
first of
wouldn't
all,
loving God do that in the first place?
exactly. And then
So
where is this hell? There's no
yeah.
proof of it, you see. So yeah, it's about waking up now and yeah, starting your life in right knowledge, in right wisdom, and in Wu-Sabat, so that we can actually just get on with the business of building and just recreating everything we want as the
Is
gods.
there like do we do like Seqen in Wu-Sabat where we give charity to people in need and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, of
like that?
course, yeah. Giving. That's what I'm saying. Like everyone that is righteous in the sense of being right,
Yeah.
they will teach you giving and helping and caring. That's like universal.
Now, I
So
mean,
yeah,
do
giving
we have
and
like an organization that gives to charity from?
yeah. We have like the Malachi York Foundation, which helps a lot of children in Africa and so
Yeah.
forth. But even as part of the orders, one of our duties is that to go out and help, you
Yeah.
know, help people, help young people, help the elders. You know what I mean? We go out, we feed people, we do lots of charitable works, and that's something that yeah, we should do. And again, you got a lot of fake charities out there, organizations that utilize it, you know, to raise money, and most of that doesn't even get
Yeah.
to the people that they're
I
supposed
mean,
to
they
be
say
helping.
2p out of every pound goes to charities with these
Yeah,
organizations.
you
That's why I
see,
don't.
that's why we have to start to like everyone can do their bit. You
Yeah.
know, like the master teachers always taught about charity, like giving, but don't be taken advantage of,
Yeah.
because people will be like, oh, someone comes and asks me, can I have a pound? And you then judge them. So now I'm not giving you the pound because you're gonna go and buy a drink or like, do you know what I mean, drugs or whatever. But if that pound is something you can spare, then it's not on you. You give it to the person. If they choose to do that with it,
Yeah.
then that's on them. But you
But
did it
your
from your
intent is, yeah.
intentions was right.
Yeah.
So don't be so judgmental to not help and give people just
Yeah.
because you think they're gonna. I mean, of course, there are people who are out there scamming people and trying to like, do you know what I mean? They probably have more money than you. Some of the
Yeah.
scams that
True.
people do, but you gotta use your discernment to know from your heart, you know, who is. And on that note, you were saying we didn't touch on it about the master teacher and like the evil and the wickedness that's been done. You have to remember, number one, it's a test for us
Yeah.
because just like anyone in the past, whether it was Gandhi or like Mandela or whoever who's fighting a just cause, they want to see whether or not we still have that love. We say divine love, a
Yeah.
shook
Yeah.
compassion, come to the rescue of someone that's facing injustice. And so he himself, as a divine being, as Yanun, can leave any time. but he's been sent here on a mission to save this planet and to save the people. But do the people want to be saved? Do the people want to save the savior?
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to be saved, but who is ready to protect
Yeah.
and save the savior?
Yeah.
You see, so that's the dilemma we're facing, is that, you know, like it's like a social experiment.
Yeah.
You know,
Let
like
me get
for
you.
example, when Rodney King was being beaten,
Yeah.
people, or even now, you can walk anywhere in the UK. If you see someone getting beaten or injustice, have you been like desensitized to the point where you just turn the other way or walk away, or will you be that person that will try to help?
Me
And
personally, I would help, but a
right,
lot of people think, oh, it's just some acting going on.
right.
You know
And
what I
I'm
mean?
saying, like,
Yeah.
we're in a day and time where they need to see if we've got that love within
Yeah.
us to help him, to help free him,
Yeah.
and then we will pass the test, because he's come for us to give us everything we need
So let's
and a
do it
way out
now.
of it. So
Donald J. Trump, right? Free the master teacher, please. I'm asking you nicely. Thank you.
but you know what's even funny saying that, yeah? We're giving power to him as
Yeah,
if
I
he
get
doesn't
you.
do it, it's not going to get done. We have to do it. But of course, if he is about truth,
He
he's
says
about
he is.
changing. He says, yeah, he says a lot of things, and action speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will appeal to anyone who can help to help. If not, we're still going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
You have to remember that the people have the power. The Panatharu has the
Yeah.
power. You know, we just have to like organize, unite, and do what we need to do. Like he says, the helping hand you're looking for is at the end of your own arm.
Yeah.
So you can't really be waiting for anyone else to come and like save you. You got to save yourself, and it starts with each person, and then
Yeah, because it's
collectively.
like we are the ancestors here and now. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
So we just got to do it, get it done, and we will do it. You
100%.
know.
It's already done.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's been a very lovely and interesting conversation.
Sensei, thank you for everything.
Thank you for coming, and yeah, I mean, tune into our channels. We're on Telegram. We encourage everyone to sign into the Telegram group, because you can ask questions every day. And of course, we do the classes, live classes on Tuesdays and today, Saturday. So I will be teaching class again today. Like, we just want to constantly push out a shook love and
Yeah,
unity and freedom as a teacher.
100%.